There are days in a hospital that echo louder than others, not because of a code blue, not because of a breakthrough, but because something deeper pulses beneath the linoleum floors and sterile fluorescent lights, something that challenges what kind of people we really are. This was one of those days. St. Hartley Medical Center wasn't the biggest hospital in the state, but it was one of the busiest. Nestled in a diverse but divided city, it served everyone, from hedge fund managers with private insurance to folks who arrived in Ubers with expired Medicaid cards. Dr. Evelyn Mercer had been working in the ER for 6 years. She was sharp, quick on her feet, and built from the kind of grit that only a black woman in medicine could understand. Her colleagues respected her, even if they didn't always see her. She was on the tail end of a 12-hour shift when the paramedics rolled in a young black man, mid-20s, thin, shaking, struggling to breathe. Gunshot wound, upper right chest. Vitals unstable. The EMT barked, sweat beating down his temple. His name was Deshaun Taylor. He'd been caught in crossfire while walking home from work. Didn't belong to a gang. Didn't even have a record. Just wrong place, wrong time. Dr. Mercer rushed toward the stretcher, snapping on gloves mid-stride. But before she could get her hands on him, someone stepped in front of her. It was Dr. Lily Carrington, blonde, prestigious, Ivy League educated, and someone who, until that day, Evelyn had never seen act overtly racist. But sometimes racism is subtle until it isn't. "I'll take it from here," Lily said with a firm hand. Evelyn paused. "He's crashing. There's no time to hand off." I said, "I'll take it." What followed was a moment Evelyn would never forget. Lily leaned in slightly, lower her voice, but not enough. "He's not going to make it. Waste of resources. Besides, we got others waiting. Real patients." The words hung in the air like a bitter wind. Evelyn blinked, stunned. It wasn't just what she said. It was how she said it. Casual, calculated, as if this man's life was a budget cut she could make on the fly. The room was chaos, but inside Evelyn's chest, everything went silent. She stared at Deshaun, gasping, eyes fluttering, one hand reaching toward nothing. She looked back at Lily, who had already turned and walked away. And then Evelyn made a decision, one that would cost her everything, or save something much bigger. She shouted to a nearby nurse, "Get Trauma Kit 3. Page Dr. Yen for backup. Let's move." Within seconds, Evelyn was working on Deshaun like her life depended on it. In many ways, it did. It wasn't until hours later, when the adrenaline faded and Deshaun was stable in ICU, that Evelyn felt the weight. She was called into an emergency staff meeting. Lily was already seated, arms folded, lips pursed like she'd smelled something foul. Dr. Patel, the chief of medicine, stood at the head of the table, stern, quiet, waiting. Lily spoke first. Dr. Mercer overstepped her role today. She disrespected a direct instruction and endangered a patient by taking over trauma she wasn't assigned to. Evelyn opened her mouth to speak, but Dr. Patel raised a hand. "Dr. Carrington, I've reviewed the footage. Listen to the nurse reports. You refuse to treat a critically wounded patient because of the color of his skin." There was a long pause, the kind that makes hearts stop. Dr. Patel turned to Evelyn. "Dr. Mercer saved that man's life today. She acted not only as a physician, but as a human being. You, Dr. Carrington, failed on both counts." Gasps filled the room. Even the janitor had paused outside the glass walls of the boardroom. "Effective immediately, Dr. Carrington, your privileges at St. Hartley are revoked." The news traveled to the hospital like a current through wire. A white doctor had been fired for racism. A black doctor had risked her job to save a patient. For some, it was justice. For others, a shock. For many, it was the first time they realized what Evelyn and so many others faced every single day in silence. That week, dozens of staff came to her in private. Some apologized, some cried. One young intern said, "I didn't think it was real until I saw it happen." Evelyn just nodded. She wasn't interested in being anyone's martyr. She just wanted to do her job without having to fight to do it. 2 weeks later, Evelyn received a handwritten note. It was from Deshawn, his hand still shaky, his words scrawled. They told me I almost died. I don't remember much, but I remember your voice, I remember feeling like I wasn't alone. Thank you for seeing me like I mattered. She held the letter in her hand for a long time and cried, not because she was sad, but because she was tired and because, for once, something broke through. There are doctors who heal wounds, and there are doctors who heal silence. What happened at St. Hartley wasn't just about one patient or one act of racism. It was about a system that quietly allows it until someone decides enough. Dr. Evelyn Mercer didn't change the world that day, but she cracked it open. And sometimes that's how the light gets in. Dove, speak up, even when your voice shakes. Because justice doesn't come quietly. Movie camera like, share, and subscribe for more true stories that matter.